Imagine a world very different from our own. A world without cities, without roads, without any people at all. Picture vast, lush forests stretching as far as the eye can see, and enormous plains warmed by a sun that feels ancient and powerful. This was the world long, long ago. It was a time when the Earth was home to some of the most spectacular creatures that have ever lived. These were the dinosaurs. They were the true kings and queens of our planet for an almost unimaginable length of time, a reign far longer than humanity's. Their story is one of mystery, grandeur, and incredible power. So what exactly were these magnificent beasts? Dinosaurs were a special group of reptiles that walked the Earth millions and millions of years ago. Unlike the lizards and crocodiles we see today, many dinosaurs had a unique posture. Their legs were positioned directly beneath their bodies, not sprawling out to the sides. This allowed them to stand tall and move with surprising speed and agility. They came in an astonishing variety of shapes and sizes, smaller than a chicken to giants longer than a bus. They were a wonderfully diverse and successful group of animals, masters of their ancient environment. The time when dinosaurs lived is called the Mesozoic era. This immense stretch of history is so long that scientists have divided it into three parts: Triassic period, Jurassic period, Cretaceous period. For over 150 million years, these creatures thrived, adapted, and dominated nearly every corner of the globe, from the sweltering tropics to the cooler polar regions. This was their planet, a world teeming with life where survival was a daily challenge. The air was filled with the calls of strange creatures and the ground shook under the weight of colossal footsteps. It was a dynamic and often dangerous place, but it was also a world of breathtaking beauty and natural wonder. The dinosaurs were perfectly adapted to this environment, evolving into a dazzling array of forms to eat, to hide, to survive. Their long and successful reign is a powerful testament to the incredible creativity of life on Earth, a story of evolution on a truly epic scale. Among the countless types of dinosaurs, some have become legends. Perhaps the most famous of all is the Tyrannosaurus rex, the tyrant lizard king. This was a truly formidable predator. Standing nearly as tall as a two-story building and armed with a mouthful of banana-sized teeth, T-Rex was one of the largest meat-eaters to ever walk on land. Its powerful legs could carry it across the landscape in pursuit of prey, and its massive skull was built for a bone-crushing bite. Seeing one in the flesh would have been a terrifying and awe-inspiring experience, a true encounter with prehistoric power. But not all dinosaurs were fearsome hunters. Many were gentle giants, peaceful plant eaters that lived in herds for protection. One of the most recognizable is the Triceratops, which means three-horned face. This magnificent creature was like a giant rhinoceros from another time. It had a large, bony frill protecting its neck and three sharp horns on its face, which were likely used for defense against predators like T-Rex. Imagine herds of these impressive animals moving across the ancient plains, their horns glinting in the sun, a living, moving fortress of bone and muscle. Then there were the sauropods, the true titans of the dinosaur world. Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus. They were the largest animals ever to walk on land, some reaching lengths of over 100 feet. Their immense size meant they had to eat constantly, using their long necks to reach the tender leaves at the very tops of the tallest trees, a food source no other animal could touch. The ground must have trembled as these colossal beings walked by, their gentle munching the only sound for miles around. And we must not forget the swift and intelligent hunters that roamed in packs. The velociraptor, made famous in films, was actually much smaller in real life, about the size of a turkey. However, it was a very clever and agile predator. It likely had feathers, much like a modern bird, and possessed a large sickle-shaped claw on each foot, a deadly weapon it used for hunting. These dinosaurs show us that not all predators were giants. Some relied on speed, teamwork, and intelligence to survive in a world filled with much larger and more powerful creatures. How do we know so much about creatures that lived so long ago? The answer lies buried beneath our feet in the form of fossils. A fossil is the preserved remains or traces of a living thing from a past geological age. When a dinosaur died, if the conditions were just right, its bones might be quickly covered by sand or mud. Over millions of years, the minerals in the mud would slowly replace the bone, turning it into solid rock. These stone bones are the clues that let us piece together the incredible story of the dinosaurs scattered across continents and time. The scientists who search for and study these amazing clues are called paleontologists. They are like detectives of deep time. Their work often begins in remote and rugged places, Deserts, badlands, rocky hillsides where wind and water have eroded the earth to expose ancient rock layers. With great care and patience they use tools ranging from large shovels to delicate brushes, slowly excavating fragile fossil bones from their rocky tomb. Every bone they find is a precious piece of a puzzle waiting millions of years to be solved. Once a fossil is carefully removed from the ground, it is taken back to a laboratory. There, the real detective work continues. Scientists clean the fossils, fit the bones together to reconstruct skeletons. By studying the shape of the bones, the structure of the teeth and marks left on the skeleton, they deduce an astonishing amount of information. They can determine what the dinosaur ate, how it moved, how fast it grew, and even guess at what color it might have been. It is a slow, painstaking process of scientific discovery. But fossils are not just bones. Paleontologists discover fossilized footprints creating trackways that show walking or running. They find fossilized eggs, sometimes with tiny baby dinosaur skeletons inside which tell us about reproduction and care. They even unearth fossilized skin impressions and very rarely, feathers. Each of these fossil treasures provides a unique window into the past, helping us to build a more complete and vivid picture of the world when dinosaurs were its undisputed masters. The study of dinosaurs is full of surprises. Scientists are constantly learning new and amazing things about them. For a long time, people thought all dinosaurs were green-brown, slow-moving scaly reptiles. But new discoveries have changed that picture dramatically. We now know that many dinosaurs, especially the meat-eating ones related to birds, were covered in feathers. Some may have had simple, fuzzy coats for warmth, while others might have sported bright, colorful feathers for display, just like the birds we see in our gardens today. Another astonishing fact concerns the sheer size of these creatures. While we marvel at the giant sauropods, it is equally incredible to think about their beginnings. The Argentinosaurus, one of the heaviest animals to ever live, hatched from an egg that was only about the size of a football. This means that from a tiny hatchling, it grew to weigh as much as 15 elephants. This incredible growth rate is one of the most remarkable aspects of dinosaur biology. A feat of nature that is difficult for us to even comprehend. It speaks to a world rich in resources and opportunity. Perhaps the most mind-blowing connection of all is the one that is still with us today. Look out your window at a sparrow, a pigeon, or a robin. You are looking at a modern-day dinosaur. Scientific evidence overwhelmingly shows that birds evolved from a group of small, feathered, meat-eating dinosaurs. So, in a very real sense, the dinosaurs never completely vanished. A branch of their family tree survived the Great Extinction event and continued to evolve, filling the skies with their descendants. Every bird song is a faint echo from the age of dinosaurs. The world of dinosaurs is a vast and endlessly fascinating subject. From the moment the first fossil was identified as a giant prehistoric reptile, these creatures have captured our imagination like nothing else. They remind us that our planet has a deep and dramatic history, and that life has taken on forms more wondrous than we could ever invent. The more we learn, the more questions we have, and the more we want to explore. The story of the dinosaurs is a journey that is far from over, with new chapters still buried, waiting for the next generation of explorers to unearth them.